Hello and welcome to the show. Minor disaster in the kitchen recently. Now, I was going to tell you about this on the last show, but we would completely run out of time in our fully packed, full of content, very, very interesting 3 times a week talk show. Hello, this is United Kingdom Talk. My name's Chris Reardon. Interesting, someone who watches the show via current TV put a little message on one of the shows and said, I've been watching the show. Please, would you tell me where the content is? Well, I don't know. Are you deaf, dear? There's plenty of content. And if you don't like it, switch off. I've said that before so many times. You know what I mean? It's not necessary to sit there, sad, in your sad little life, you know, trying to pick faults and everything else because actually you don't do anything yourself. You're probably sitting there day in, day out, watching your computer and doing nothing else with your sad, lonely, pathetic life. So get out there and do something. And then write me an email, and then I may have some content to put into the programme. I mean, what do you mean there's no content? God's sake, here I sit 3 times a week for half an hour talking about what's going on in my sad, lonely, pathetic life. And I suggest you do the same. OK? Don't like it? Turn it off. I've said that so many times before. Don't bother me with your negative comments, because they're in one ear, out the other. Sometimes I even print them off. I take them off my printer. I take them into the lavatory and use them to wipe something on. All right? There we are. Now, there is an email address to the show. It's Chris. If you're new to the show, I'm not really like this usually. I'm usually a very, very happy. Well, I'm happy today, and I'll tell you why I'm happy today. The minor disaster in the kitchen that I meant to tell you about last time was after the last few incidents of doing my laundry in my incandescent washing machine, I have been noticing a small pool of water appearing as if by magic in the front of the washing machine. Now, I was very concerned about this. You see, I don't look at things as they are. I saw this pool of water and I thought, now, does the cat keep having a little accident there? And on closer inspection, I took my nose down to floor level and I sniffed. No, it definitely wasn't cat wee-wee. So then I thought, is this some sort of liquid from a supernatural force? And it's suddenly, while I'm standing there, unexpectedly, going to suddenly rise up and turn into a witch and magic me away? Which some people would like to do, I think. I reckon Carl in Yorkshire would like to magic me away. He's been moaning again. Oh, he's always moaning, Carl. This week he was moaning that apparently he sent a message on the YouTube. I can't remember, an email or a message on the YouTube. And he's moaning because I didn't read all of it out. Well, maybe, Carl, it wasn't interesting. Maybe I just chose the interesting, if you can ever write interesting, you know, maybe the first part of the email was interesting and the second part was boring, and that's why I only read out the beginning bit. He said that because I read out the first part of his email and not the second part, it did cast him in a bad light and he feels people will hate him. Carl, they already do. OK? They all hate you. Everyone hates you to death. And that's the way it is. I'm sorry, that's how it is. Don't think that they will hate you because of the email. They already hate you. So that's it. All right? So stop moaning. Oh, he's always got something to moan about, Carl. He's actually a very useful person. He notices if there's something wrong with the show, whether I've said something that's incorrect, maybe... let me pull out a newspaper here. £25 million Keegan Compo claim could cripple Toon. That's the headline. If I read out 20 million, he'd be sending me an email. Oh, it was 25 million. So he's quite handy like that. But he does moan sometimes. He really does, Carl. Honestly, dear, do stop moaning. Have you got anything positive to ever say? We like a bit of positiveness. We like positive people. We absolutely do. I'm one of them. I'm a positive person. Are you? That's the question. Let's shut up, James Dean. James Dean is making comments now and is sitting there in the office laughing, aren't you? What are you laughing at, dear? My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, can I just get back to the story? You keep interrupting. I can't even get a word in edgeways today, can I? Will you shut up for 5 minutes? I'm talking, dear. It's something I don't do very often. So, no. So this pool of water was not about to turn into a witch to magic me away. So I thought, I looked at the front of the washing machine, and I have been aware for some time of a little bit of rust developing under the drawer where you put the soap powder and the fabric conditioner in. So I thought maybe the rust is an indicator to where the water is slowly dripping away onto my slate-tiled floor, dear. Nope, no water coming inside. I pulled the thing back, didn't I? I thought, maybe it's coming from the outlet of the pipe, where the pipe joins the plumbing in the house. Is the water bubbling up there because of a blockage? Nope, not coming out of there. So I took the back off, carefully unplugged. Please don't try this at home, unless you have a parent with you. Okay, boys and girls? Don't try this at home. So I took the back off the washing machine after unplugging it from the mains electricity supply, because Chris doesn't want to die from electrical cutions. He really doesn't. Right? Took it off, and there, at the back of the washing machine, is the very slow drip, drip, drip. And it's dripping, right, there's the washing machine drum, and there's a plastic bit like the back of the drum. And the two are held together by a metal strip that goes all the way around it with one screw in the bottom. The drip is coming where the screw is. So I thought, I'll do it up tighter and see what happens. I did it up tighter, the drip got worse. So then I undid it a bit, and the drip appeared from another part, sort of further around this seal. So I thought, right, okay, and I had a look around it, looked quite complicated, quite a lot of screws and things attached to it. And I thought very carefully, if I call someone out, it will probably cost about £100. The washing machine is 7 years old, and I thought, no. New washing machine, yes! So a new gadget is coming next week, boys and girls. Oh, another new gadget here in my home of Royal Berkshire, Bracknell. I'm so excited. So I have ordered a new washing machine. Very good price. Total price, £309. The £9 is so that they collect the old washing machine and they take that away and professionally recycle it. Oh, I don't know what they do with these things, but it'll all be recycled. Guess where I have ordered it from? Any idea yet? Regular viewers and listeners to the show will know exactly where I ordered my washing machine from. Correct! John Lewis. Oh, yes. And I've ordered it to come on Tuesday morning between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. And I don't want to go down the whole good service at John Lewis thing again, because we've done that so many times. But the service at John Lewis is fantastic. I know if I order something on a specific date, at a specific time, it will arrive at that time. There will usually be, when I've ordered stuff from there before, there's always two men come in. Although that's not the point. I just want to point that out. I'm not kind of ordering men now by post, okay? Or on the internet. I'm not like ordering men and lads to come round with various things. It's not for that. They are only here to bring the washing machine in, unfortunately. But nevertheless, they will come, they'll have uniforms on, they'll be pleasant to me, they'll put it in place, they'll take away the packaging, and they'll take away the old machine, and it'll all be done perfectly well. And that's why I always buy my items now from either John Lewis, which isn't too far, or Bentl's, which we have here in Bracknell. I do not go to that awful chain store where I've had many experiences buying stuff from them before. And quite frankly, it's not any cheaper. I'm not going to say the name of it. You all know the one. Well, actually, there's a couple. And both of them, in my opinion, the service is not good in either of them, especially if something goes wrong. They're all very quick for taking your money and selling you a blooming extended warranty. Or talking of extended warranties, as well as getting the manufacturer's washing machine guarantee, John Lewis give you a further year free of charge completely. I mean, you know, I cannot praise that store enough. I ought to write to them. I mean, someone should write to them, dear. Someone listening or watching this show should say, here, there's this bloke who does a show on the radio, United Kingdom Talk, and is always praising your store to the sky. Because they are just fantastic, fantastic service. So it's coming Tuesday, and I'm very, very excited about this. The only thing is, and I have already disconnected the old washing machine now from the water and the hose outlet pipe, and that is now sitting outside my front door, waiting for collection in a couple of days. I hope my neighbours won't mind about that. So it's only there for a couple of days. It's not like I've tipped something outside. Isn't it awful when you've got neighbours, right, and they seem to collect rubbish outside the front? Do you know what I mean? Sofas, old televisions. Here, I tell you what. Tell me, if you're listening to this show and you've got one of those neighbours, right, with a back garden that is full of junk. You ever seen one of those? Oh, it's horrendous. I mean, can you just imagine living next to one of those? Or maybe you are one. Are you one of those people who's got a garden full of junk out the back? Eh? How dreadful. Awful. Sofas, old cookers, boxes, bags of rubbish. Rats all over the place, dear. Do you live next to one of them? Tell me all about it if you do. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right? Now, the only thing is, next to the old washing machine, when it was in the kitchen, before I put it outside yesterday, well, there was a very large box of washing up powder. Now, I tend to buy that stuff in bulk. My sister is a member of a cash and carry place up north, and I usually go there when I go and visit her, and I pick up lots of things really cheap, like 4 tubes of toothpaste for £2 or something like that. And I've had this large box of washing powder sitting next to the machine. Well, of course, the bottom of the box has got wet, hasn't it? So, I mean, it hasn't disintegrated or anything like that. Can I just have a cough? Just a minute. I've got a bit of something there. Oh dear, and it won't shift. Hang on. Oh dear, dear me, this cough won't go away, dear. I shall carry on. Like mother's brave little soldier, don't worry. So the box of it has got wet. Although the bottom of the box hasn't disintegrated, the powder at the bottom now feels pretty solid. But don't worry, I'm not going to waste it. When I start using that box of washing up powder, and when we get down to that bit, I shall get a knife and break it all up so it continues to be used and will not permeate the earth with its bad chemicalness. That's a nice little expression, bad chemicalness. Do you like that one? Just a suggestion. Okay, so washing machine coming soon, so very excited about that. I tell you what, when I get the washing machine, I might take the video camera downstairs and do a little video of it, so you can see it fully functional. How exciting is that? Huh? Oh, I can't wait. I always get excited when a new thing is arriving at my house. Do you? What new things have you got this year? Come on, tell me. Let me know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Something I've got to do Saturday, a flu injection. Yes, boys and girls, here in the UK, our flu injections are starting soon. I get one free of charge. Well, anyone can have one free of charge, actually, here in the UK. That's the wonder of the NHS. Completely free of charge, flu injection if you want one. However, people aren't contacted about this. Only people who they consider more at risk. I am one of those because I have asthma. Elderly people are usually contacted. And I just happened to ring the doctor a couple of days ago on the off chance. and said, can you tell me when you're starting the flu injections this year? And she said, oh, yes, well, on Saturday morning, this Saturday morning, we actually have a walk-in clinic, our first walk-in clinic of the year. If you want to go down to so-and-so between 8:30 and 11:30 on Saturday morning, you'll be able to get a flu injection free of charge. So how brilliant is that? So I just hope I'm going to be up for that, because it's a bit early in the morning for me, especially on a Saturday, because, of course, on Friday I do a karaoke night, which is in Birmingham, and generally I don't get to bed on Saturday morning till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to be up quite early for that. So there we are. Flu injection on its way. Then you can sneeze at me. You can sit there sneezing at your computer or radio set as much as you can, and I won't get your nasty germs and bacteria and viruses. Thank you very much. One needs protection. One always needs protection. Okay, email time, boys and girls. First of all, it's Suko again. Oh, Suko has had a change of heart, boys and girls. She's had a change of heart. Dear Chris, I've had a change of heart not only because of your respectful and selfless gestures towards Gwen and Millie, even though you're not that kind of respectful to me, but your sincere care for the well-being of your listeners, and she puts, except for me. It is very magnanimous of you to cut your 3-week shows in half to allow your faithful listeners more time to get out and have a life. Except the ones that sit there, watch the whole thing and then do nothing but complain, Suko. Except them. I realise that you are basically a very nice and caring person, just not so nice to me. So therefore, you may hear from me now and again. Lots of love from Suko. Oh, bless. She then goes on to say, P.S. You read my last email in pieces again. Well, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean I read your email in pieces, dear? I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, incidentally, talking about Gwen, we did have a little concert for Gwen, I mentioned in the last show, at Belushi's Bar. And those of you watching the show, this particular show on YouTube, which is dated Saturday the... Oh, hang on a minute. 16, 17, 18, 19, 24. This show, if you ever want to look it up and watch it as well as listen, is dated Saturday the 24th of October 2009. And to watch, go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. On the video screen behind me today, I am showing a video of the concert for Gwen and the karaoke night that we held, which we recorded to send Gwen all on DVD to make herself feel a little bit better while she is recovering from her ordeal. Okay, so that's what's going around on the back screen today. Now, what was she saying? Oh, yes, you read my last email in pieces again. I don't know what you mean, dear. You still don't have the word shelp right. You pronounced it in the same way you did the first time. Why not ask the gorgeous and brilliant and classy Ron, that's my friend, how to pronounce it, or call me on Skype so I can pronounce it for you? Now, I very, very rarely have up Skype and MSN. As you know, Suko, and I do believe this is one thing we are in agreement with. As you know, my dear, it's impossible to sit at the computer and get anything done when you are running Skype or MSN or the chat thing on Facebook. You just can't get anything done because people keep popping up and saying, hi, how are you? And as I've said before, I don't mind if people have got something to say like, hi Chris, do you know where I can get this record from? Or, hi Chris, what microphone are you using? Or, hi Chris, I like the look of the flowers that you had on your show. What are they? I don't mind that. But when people come up and say, hi, and you're like, hi, what do you want? Oh, just saying hi, that is just such a complete and total waste of time, dear. I know people are trying to be friendly, but my guess is most of these people are either in offices or at home, listening or watching the show, and you're bored, aren't you? You are bored to tears with your jobs, dear. That's why you're listening or watching. I know that, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I can't be in all places at all times. I try, but believe it or not, And I'm going to stand up now and admit to this, I am not God. I know. That surprised you, wasn't it? I think it surprised Carl in Yorkshire, who probably thinks that I think that I am. But I'm not, Carl. I'm just a loyal servant of his, dear. A loyal servant of the public, sitting here trying so desperately, Carl, to bring a little bit of sparkle into your sad, lonely, pathetic life. But it's hard. It's hard. It really is. The funny thing is, Suko says here, you still don't have the word shot right. You pronounce it in the same way. And then she continues with the email, failing to tell me how to pronounce it. You know, if you're going to correct me, Suko, and I gather from your husband, Jerry, you do like to dish out a little bit of correction now and again, don't you? Is that right, Suko? Eh? Do you have a special costume for that? Oh, no. Let's not go down that path. She says, I wanted to second what Takasuji said about grocery stores in Japan. Because we were talking about, supermarkets, grocery stores. Where were your grocery stores? Do you like your grocery store? And this, that and the other. Yeah, and Suko says, they are fabulous in Japan, second to none. They take such pride in the way their products are displayed like works of art. They are immaculately clean and their personnel very conscientious about providing good service. At department stores, they have young, well-dressed girls complete with hats and gloves to greet the shoppers. I think I could do that. Do you think I could be a shopper greeter? A greeter, yes. Shopping is a very civilised experience. That is, until you get to Harajuku and Shinjuku. That's another story altogether, but very colourful and fun. Thank you, Suko. If only you told me how to say that word. What is it again? Schlep. What is this? Is this a Jewish thing, dear? What is it? I don't know what it is, dear. God's sake, woman. What's wrong with you? On to Niall. Hello, Niall. And, no, what's the time? Just a minute. Oh, hang on a minute. What time am I supposed to finish today? Oh, blimey. It goes so quick, this half hour, doesn't it? Niall writes, Dear Chris, and hopefully Suko. He's writing to you, Suko. Yes. So pay attention, dear. By the way, Suko, do you still listen to me in bed? I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. Anyway, just keep your hands above the bedclothes. Lots of surprise, Niall writes, in hearing the recent emails read out the other Saturday. Suko, it will be a real shame to miss out on your lovely and eloquent interjections to Chris's banter. I've thoroughly enjoyed them over the months. I'm very sorry to have upset you vis-a-vis the matinee show. I must admit, I didn't know that you were a part of that show. The reason being, I couldn't bring myself to listen to more than 20 minutes of an episode as the sound through the headphones hurt my ears. He's talking, of course, about the matinee show. That's another podcast, as hosted by my dear, dear friend and scumbag James Dean. And also Madam Mary's and Pretty Boy Seb. And also occasional visits from Scott Bruton and Nikki French. Just those two people usually visit, I'm afraid. James Dean cannot get anyone else here. It's the same people he keeps dragging into that studio. I mean, does he really think they want to keep appearing on that sad little show? I don't know. I'm not sure that they do. Now, come on, James. Impress me. Impress me. Let's see Shirley Bassey on the show. I tell you, if you get me Shirley Bassey on that show, I'll take you on a holiday to the Isle of Wight. I mean, it doesn't get much better, does it? Eh? If you want to give the matinee show a try, they play show tunes on there and do a little bit of chat, a little bit like mine, but it's much more rushed, isn't it? Millie, motorised Millie, was on the show a little while ago, and she says she found it all very rushed. Oh yeah, James, he rushes through everything, dear. As you noticed when he came here to the studio the other week and read one of my emails out. The email was about 10 pages long. He finished it off in 20 seconds. I barely had time because I went to the toilet. That's why I asked him to read I barely had time to do my zip up and come back in here, dear. I nearly came in here with my zip still undone. Now, how would that have done in the ratings? Exactly. Niall goes on to, if you want to listen to the matinee show, check it out at matineeshow.co.uk. Matineeshow.co.uk. Niall says, as an olive branch to you, I'll give another episode a try to see if it was only an intermittent problem. Okay? He's going to give you another try, James. Try it and do something interesting, dear, on that programme. I'd like you to stay, he's talking to you now, Suko, as a contributor to Chris's show for a number of reasons. One amongst them is as the Manhattan section chief for the elves. I've been seeing some worrying stirrings of gnomes here. They are refusing to believe in the economic recovery starting in some countries, and their unhappiness with Maureen's enslavement of a Spanish gnome clan is pushing all the wrong buttons for them to consider helping. Shockwaves are rippling across the country, and I've been impacted by them. In these uncertain times, we should all stick together and achieve more through goodwill and happiness. Yours, a humbled listener from Niall in Switzerland. Thank you, Niall, for that comprehensive look into Suko and my life. All right? Now, don't forget, if you ever want to join in the fun of these lovely emails that people kindly send in, please feel free to do so. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Quick one here from Ian Duff. Hello, Ian, who sends Gwen good wishes. Gwen, give her good vibes from a Canadian cancer sufferer. So don't worry, any emails that you send in are read out to Gwen, okay? I read them on the phone to her. Another one here from a new listener. Hello to Jose Louis. Hello, this is Jose, a Spanish guy who's trying to improve his English, and listening to you is a good way to do it. I'm very interested in British accents, and I remember you talked about some guy from Norfolk. Was it Robert? No, his name's Ross, who has a podcast. May you send me the URL of the podcast to know more about the Norfolk accent. It must be really hard to get it if they never pronounce T, though many times you don't pronounce them too. What do you mean? He says, by the way, where's your accent from? And that's from Jose in Spain. Well, the podcast you want is Ross Patzelt. Okay, and you can find that very easy, rosspatzelt.co.uk. rosspatzelt.co.uk. And where am I from? I was brought up in South London. All right? South London. So I've got a bit of South London accent, and I do believe, if you don't mind me saying so, I do believe I also have a bit of a puffy accent. I have been told, although I'm not quite sure about that. Thank you. Thank you, Jose. Nice to meet you, sir. And two quick ones here. Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne. Nice to hear from you. Says, I'm glad I wasn't having liver, Chris, when you were talking about that thing that you did with someone's toilet system. Yes. Not very pleasant. I could have put people off their dinner there. And, have we got time for these two? Actually, no. Because if I do, I'll have to rush through them, and need to spend a bit of time for. I've got emails here waiting from the Mighty HC, and also Lisa in California, and also CW in Australia. They will appear on the next show, my darlings, okay? Once again, the email address, because it's time for me to go, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for listening, or indeed watching the show today. I'll see you on the next one. Myself, Chris Reardon.